Hello, my name is Becca Volk, and I am currently in Dallas. I am a full-time online student, current senior, and English major. I wrote my paper on Mary Fairfax Summerfield. She was an amazing woman, and so when writing my paper, I showed a lot of my English major roots. And so I wanted to do something a little less traditional. Well, traditionally you might have seen a presentation with slides. I just wanted to sit down, get back to the basics, and tell you a story. Oral storytelling is the root of English literature. Go way back to Anglo-Saxon literature, open it up. Those stories, they were told orally long before they were ever written down. So I'm going to sit here, I'm going to tell you about this amazing woman, and I hope you enjoy. So, to begin Mary Fairfield's story, we have to start at the beginning. She was born in Scotland, not too far outside of Edinburgh. So she was a part of the United Kingdom. Her parents were avid Catholics, which, wasn't always easy at the time, but it meant she grew up on her mother's lap, learning to read from the Bible. So as she got older and she uncovered things about herself, her love of learning blossomed. So she would ask family, friends, and colleagues. She would convince them to help her pay for her classes. Because as a woman, she wasn't expected to take courses in the mathematics or the sciences. She was expected to sit and sew and read British literature. Now, this passion grew and grew until she got married. Now, her first husband was extremely traditional and had no interest in the math or sciences himself, so of course his good Christian wife was not going to be pursuing such heretical or progressive ideas, and it just wasn't common for a woman to be interested in this area, let alone avidly pursuing it and being brilliant at it. And so he couldn't comprehend it, and so he told her he didn't want her to continue. Now, being the good wife that she was, she respected his wishes, and she no longer pursued her passions. Unfortunately, he did pass away, which for her was a blessing in disguise, because while she did mourn the loss of her husband, she was now able to pursue everything that she once loved. And her second husband shared her love of science and mathematics, and he encouraged her to read and write and uncover whatever she could find, and they did it together. And that is a prime example of love at its finest. You don't need some Pride and Prejudice, although I love it. In my eyes, that is a really beautiful love story. So they worked hard, they studied, and they theorized, and she wrote like the wind. She published multiple books that became extremely popular because her voice was different than all the other voices out there. Whether it was the fact she was feminine, I don't know, but I think it was the fact for sure that she approached the subject matter in a way that was easy to comprehend from the everyday common man or woman. And so her findings and teachings about the world outside of herself, also, they weren't heretical. They didn't go against the Bible. If anything, she was searching for God. One of her books even titled The Heavens. She was figuring out how God fit into the scientific mathematical equation. So it was common that, there were a lot of agnostic or atheistic teachings about science. She went the other way. She was trying to figure out how they went together. And in doing so, her perspective was extremely unique and very well loved. It was received impressively, especially as she was a woman publishing under her own name at a time when women did not get published. And if they did get published, it was very rare, let alone in a scientific field. So she was breaking through walls, all the while being the traditional wife and mother. Even the Summerfield College named after her that was, connected to Oxford. It was the female side of Oxford in her honor said, we want to grow and expand in our knowledge and break through walls, but we also have integrity. We are women of purpose. And we are connected to this woman who paved the way for us. Her books were taught in the all-male Oxford classrooms as well. I mean, she was taught for 50 years straight and encouraged some of the greatest scientists of all time. She led to the discovery of planets. So in her search for the heavens, someone found a new aspect of it. Up until the day she died in her 90s, she was writing. As a writer, my job literally is to write about nonprofit organizations. I dig deep into the stories of other people. Mary Fairfax Summerfield dug deep into the story of the universe. And she tried to find God and to paint him in her pages and to unearth what was unseen to people who didn't think like she did. She took all the knowledge that she was blessed with and she gave it back to the community. And to the day she died, she was writing and rewriting, trying to perfect what she had started. As a writer, that is my very core. So while our subject matters are different, she is an inspiration to someone like me. That you could sit down, you can write, and you can rewrite. You can constantly be learning and constantly be searching for the answers that you seek, whether it's in a fictional story, in a non-fictional account, or in the math and sciences. I hope that you enjoyed listening to just a tidbit of this amazing woman's life. And I encourage you to look a little deeper because not only are her texts important, her life is important, especially for women like me that are trying to step out on their own, facing adversities, trying to prove that while I might have expectations set before me, my passions matter. I'm going to tie them into my faith, and I'm going to make something that lasts. Words matter. Her words really mattered. And God used her to do something amazing. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful next semester or break for summer. And hey, if we're ever in any classes, say hello. And thank you for being a wonderful professor. And yeah.